Good day and thank you for watching. If you are facing a criminal case in California, there is one stage that ultimately determines what happens next in your life. That stage is sentencing. And many people misunderstand how sentencing actually works. They think it's automatic, they think it's fixed. But the reality is, sentencing is influenced by multiple factors, and understanding those factors can make a difference. Let's start with the basics. Sentencing occurs after a conviction. That conviction may come from a plea agreement or from a trial. Once a conviction is entered, the court must decide what the appropriate penalty will be. Now, here's the key. Sentencing is not always one size fits all. Even within the same charge, there can be a range of possible outcomes. Let's talk about what influences sentencing. First, the nature of the offense. What happened? How serious was it? Was there harm to another person? Was there a weapon involved? These details matter. Second, criminal history. Does the person have prior convictions? Is this a first offense, a repeat offense? That history plays a significant role. Third, aggravating and mitigating factors. Aggravating factors are circumstances that may justify a harsher sentence. Mitigating factors are circumstances that may support a lesser sentence. For example, cooperation with authorities or lack of prior history may be considered mitigating. Now here's where many people make a mistake. They assume that once a plea is entered, the outcome is already decided. But in some cases, sentencing is still open to argument. Now let's talk about types of sentences. In California, sentencing can include jail or prison time, probation, fines, community service, or a combination of these. In some cases, alternatives to custody may be available, but that depends on the circumstances. Now let's discuss probation. Probation allows a person to remain in the community under certain conditions, but it is not a free pass. There are requirements, and violations can lead to further consequences. Now let's talk about reports. Before sentencing, the court may review reports. These can include probation reports, background information, and other relevant details. These reports help the court evaluate the situation. Now here's another important point, statements. At sentencing, both sides may present arguments. The prosecution may argue for a certain sentence. The defense may argue for a different outcome. In some cases, the person being sentenced may also have an opportunity to speak. This is sometimes referred to as allocution. Now let's talk about impact. Sentencing is not just about punishment. It can affect employment, housing, family relationships, and future opportunities. That's why this stage is so important. Now let's discuss strategy. Preparing for sentencing involves more than just showing up. It involves presenting information that supports your position. That may include evidence of employment, education, rehabilitation efforts, support from family or community. All of these can be relevant. Now let's address another common misunderstanding. Some people believe that the judge has unlimited discretion, but sentencing is guided by laws and guidelines. There are ranges, there are rules, and those must be followed. Now let's talk about appeals. In some cases, sentencing decisions may be challenged, but that process has its own requirements and timelines. Now, let's look at the bigger picture. Sentencing is the result of everything that has come before. The charges, the evidence, the decisions made during the case. All of these factors come together at this stage. Finally, let's talk about expectations. Not every case will result in the same outcome, and outcomes can vary based on the details. But understanding how sentencing works can help you navigate the process. In conclusion, sentencing in California criminal cases is a critical stage that determines the consequences of a conviction. It is influenced by the nature of the offense, criminal history, and other factors, and it requires careful preparation and understanding. If you are facing a criminal case and approaching sentencing, it is important to understand your options and your position. Call us at 888-888-6582. I'm Vince Davis, and we are all in this together.